I am honored to introduce Tom Smith. Tom is the founder of Total Technology Ventures and a partner with Sean Banks. As we've mentioned, Sean is really instrumental in today's success. Tom Smith retired from IBM after 30 years of service. His last job there was Vice President of Small and Medium Businesses for IBM Americas. He's very involved in his community, including the United Way board chairman, Central Atlanta Progress, Carter Center, Woodruff Arts Center. Tom specifically asked me to be very brief in my introduction, and to honor that, I give you Tom Smith, founder of Total Technology Ventures.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dave. Good, I appreciate it. I need to acknowledge my partners who do most all the work, Gardner Gerard and Mark Johnson, who's in the audience. With Sean, that's our team. And so we aren't big, but we can't afford to leave anybody out either. So I appreciate the chance to be here. You know, my job is to introduce Jim Blanchard with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And most of y'all know Jim Blanchard. He's famous for his great deeds. What you may not know is that my name is very frequently mentioned with Jim's. It's true. It goes kind of like this. You know that Tom Smith, he sure ain't no Jim Blanchard. So I'm going to prove to you why that's so true with this introduction, I'm sure, when you know a little more about what Jim has done for us in our area of interest and our state economically. He's one of the fine people we could have ever picked for this award. First, let me just review with you the criteria so you'll know exactly how one achieves such an award, and hopefully you'll aspire to it yourself. There are three. Lifetime achievements in the FinTech industry. The individual has to demonstrate a long, successful history of growing one or more of the leading FinTech organizations within the state of Georgia. Secondly, launch of a significant or industry-changing innovation. I know most all of you are working on that every day. And the third is demonstrate efforts to expand and gain recognition for Georgia as a leading hub for FinTech. And that can be through a number of initiatives like introducing legislation to make things more attractive for entrepreneurs, getting capital from outside of the state, securing a commitment for FinTech companies to move to Georgia. So with that as a criteria, now I can give you a little idea of why Jimmy won. He, on the first item of lifetime achievements, Jim began his service with Synovus Financial in June 1970 when he was selected the top executive at Columbus Bank and Trust. He served as CEO of Synovus from 1971 until being named chairman of the board in July 2005. He retired in October 2006. His tenure spanned the periods of greatest growth in the company's history. In addition, in 1999, Fortune named Synovus as the #1 best place to work in all of America. And that hadn't happened too often in our neighborhood. Second criteria was launch a significant or industry-changing innovation. One of your sponsors here is a good indication of that. In 1959, TSYS started as a bank card processing division of Columbus Bank and Trust. That wasn't too unusual. What was unusual in 1974, under Jim's guidance and his senior leadership team, CB&T started moving electronic transactions for other banks that issued credit cards across states and continents, first by telephone, then by satellite, and now by fiber optic cables. In 1983, Total System Services, we generally know them now as TSYS, became a separate publicly traded company which now provides payments processing for more than 339 million cardholders worldwide. The third criteria, efforts to expand and gain recognition for Georgia as a leading hub of FinTech. Jim rallied support for the passing of the Georgia legislature's multi-bank holding company bill in 1976. Some would say long, long overdue, but thanks to him, it was done. And under his leadership, what is now Synovus became the first bank holding company in Georgia to acquire other banks under the new law. Also, Jim was a driving force that helped establish TTV. We will be forever grateful for that, by having, with his personal support, Synovus being a lead LP for us for the first two funds. Out of that, that has provided more than $50 million to 11 early stage companies headquartered in Georgia. So I think you can see how Jim's matched up to the criteria we discussed in the beginning. Now, I couldn't complete this introduction without making a couple of personal observations about Jim Blanchard. I'll tell you, the takeaway will be exceptional leadership with exceptional character. Being the CEO for 35 years, you would think Jim's counsel would only be valuable to other CEOs. However, for decades, Jim's advice has been valuable to everybody in every station in life and in every job. He even taught Sunday school classes. It is very clear that Jim has an authentic desire to help other people succeed. Now, we all know there are lots of people that talk the talk about how to have character and how to do things. Jim really walks the walk, and that makes him rare in our involvement with people we work with. Grounded in personal integrity, Jim's has been a very visible role model, showcasing respect for others and responsibility for all of his activities. As you can see, this year's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient is a winner on so many levels, and he's just ideal as our group's first. Jim Blanchard.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Tom, for that very gracious introduction. And he's an old buddy from way back. When he was with IBM, we were trying to beat him up buying that big iron all the time. And I don't think we ever beat him. He won every time. But thank you very much. And thank you for the great job you and your team at TTV have done to represent us early in the game and now to be a major player here in Atlanta and in the Southeast. I'm very honored and flattered and really surprised to have been told about this award, and I accept it with humility and a lot of gratitude. And I accept it on behalf of the 10,000 team members that I've had the pleasure of working with over the last several years, and really the thousands that have been a part of the Synovus and TSYS family since 1886, and since I arrived in 1970, and since TSYS has been a public company since 1983. They're a wonderful group of people, and they've been an inspiration to me in my business career. It's been my biggest thrill to have been a part of those wonderful teams. And I wanted to just tell you a little bit about TSYS, and hopefully it'd be an encouragement to all of you in your enterprise. I sometimes wonder, what were we thinking about when we decided to go public in 1983, having been processing credit card accounts really since 1974. At the time, we were only processing, when the IPO was introduced, 1 million credit card accounts. And I mean, with the benefit of hindsight, I just wonder what we were thinking. and why we thought maybe we deserved to be a public company. And as Tom mentioned, we're processing now in the 340 million range, and including those accounts that we have under license to several of our customers, it's well over 440 million credit card accounts. Along the way, we made moves that, with the benefit of the hindsight, again, really just scare me to death, to tell you the truth. In 1995, we decided for the first time anybody had ever done this to totally rewrite the software for the core credit card processing system. It's interesting, but we fully expected our major competitor to do it immediately when we announced it, and they never did. And so for 10 years, we're at 15 years now, we've enjoyed a technological competitive advantage that we never expected that we would have. And the result of that was that the market share of domestic U.S. credit cards has gone from 1/3 our share, 2/3 our competitor. It is now 2/3 our share and 1/3 our competitor. And so I just marvel at the creativity and the innovation. In fact, the hero to me in my career are the young, creative juices, the innovators, the ones that, and some of you may be able to relate to this, particularly during this kind of an economic environment where most of the time in a corporate setting, you get cold water thrown in your face over your creativity and your innovation rather than encouragement. And so I think the secret of the success of our organizations over the years were that we sought out the creativity, we fueled the fires of innovation, and we rewarded the people who stepped out of the box and had the courage to dare to think big and innovative and creative. And it is a formula for success. So I hope that is a theme that you will embrace, and that it will become the norm in most places rather than the exception. I also wanted to say, Tom, what a great place Georgia has been for us. We got it all here except maybe one or two little missing links. All of you are painfully aware of our limitations on venture capital and state funds. We've gone to the Gold Dome 5 or 6 times on that. We got to keep going until we win that battle, and continue to push to make Georgia not only one of the best, but the best in the nation and even around the world. The city of Columbus has been fantastic in support of our enterprise, and I would say with Rich here as your luncheon speaker, the banking regulatory model that we enjoy in the United States of America is the absolute envy of the world. It's the best. And the Fed is tremendous. The state of Georgia banking department has been incredible. And the FDIC, our 3 principal regulators, that we could not have asked for more. And if you think about it, how in the world in a poor regulatory environment could a bank spawn a enterprise like Total System? It just wouldn't be possible. So, Rich, pass along to your colleagues our gratitude and appreciation for allowing business to flourish in the banking environment, and certainly in the state of Georgia and in Columbus. I also wanted to introduce my wife who is here. Sis, would you stand up and let them say hello? She's a wonderful partner, and there's no way you can serve at the pace and timetable of that I've had to endure for all these 40 years without a wonderful partner and a supporting person at home. She is a very accomplished Bible teacher, and I would say that over the last 2 or 3 years with the economy and the banking industry the way it is, I've needed all the Bible that I could absorb, which she's been able to be helpful there as well. So thank you very much for your support, and Tom, thank you and this organization for honoring us, me, and particularly these organizations that have worked so hard and invested so much and really tried to be great citizens and create jobs and all the things that every one of you get up every morning and have on your mind and are thinking about. And I encourage you and wish you well. Thank you.